particularly sad because we liked things the way they were. And after an ending, our lives are always changed. Now, Notre Dame will be rebuilt, but it won't be exactly the same. And for some people, that is a very sad truth. And when something in our lives ends, we often know that something else is coming after it, but it won't be the same. And that can be a hard truth. And it's okay to feel sad about this. So part of the story of this past week in the Christian tradition has been about the end of the life of Jesus, who, as we heard in the Time for All Ages, was a very important teacher for many people. And when his life ended, they felt very sad, and they gathered together to share what they were feeling, to share what they had learned, to share what new things they were going to build going forward. So this teaching is a teaching that we also share in this community. The truth that telling each other about our struggles and our sorrows and our hopes and our joys is good for us. That we gather in the wake of changes to tell our stories to each other and to see what kind of meaning we can make together in the sharing of those stories. When we're sad, sometimes we tell our stories to a friend who will simply sit with us and hold our hand without saying anything. And when we're excited, getting to tell that to our friends makes us feel even more joyful. And when we are struggling, sometimes we get hope from telling each other what is hard in our lives. Like dividing a clump of irises. You come and I say, this is hard for me, but I think maybe there's something here. Can you and I work together to help it flourish? Sharing with others is important, not only for what it does for us, but because of what we learn when we share together. When we tell our truth, when we are able to say what we know about the world, we get to be witnessed by others. And when we listen to what another person shares, our own ideas about the truth of life may be expanded. In the story of the end of the life of Jesus, the women who had gone to the tomb to prepare his body for burial instead went and told the story of what they had seen. That mysteriously the tomb was empty. And how could that be, and what might it mean? And in this act of sharing, they began to work through with other friends what it was that they were going to build. And it began simply with telling the story. Now, a story about an ending is a story about a new beginning. So let's go back to Notre Dame and see what meaning we might make that is beginning in that place. You probably read the stories about how the roof was on fire and caving in, and it was going to be the end of this place that had been special and sacred to so many people. But if you kept following the news, you got to read the other stories. That the stained glass windows survived the fire. That brave firefighters carried out some of the artifacts that can never be replaced. And, maybe my favorite story, that the bees who live in beehives on the roof of Notre Dame are all safe and alive. They were on a different part of the roof. They were not touched by the fire. And in fact, as you may know, smoke puts bees to sleep. So they simply stayed in their hives and were safe. Sometimes life persists, even in the midst of destruction. And perhaps you have seen the picture of the sanctuary inside Notre Dame, where there are crumbled pieces of the building that have burned and collapsed. And then there on the back wall, there is a cross, one of the special symbols of Christianity, untouched, lit by a beam of sunlight coming in through the collapsed roof. A Buddhist monk I know posted this picture on Facebook. And in her post, she wrote about a time when she lived in a monastery in Wisconsin, where there had been heavy snow all winter and ice dams on the roof. And as things began to melt, all that snow became water that poured in to many of the rooms. And life was very hard in that sangha, as everyone's possessions got soaked. But then she said, we noticed something. We noticed that for all the places where the water was streaming in, it never ran down a wall where there was a picture of the Buddha. We can make meaning out of telling this story to each other, and it might mean different things to different people. But she told this story, that the Buddhas remained dry the entire time. And she posted this picture of Notre Dame with the cross untouched. And she said, when I saw this image, some of my grief disappeared and I smiled. It seems as if presence remains. So we grapple on Easter and on every day of our lives with mystery and destruction and sadness and hope and joy. And the story of this cathedral is just one way to grapple with this. Let us close with an Easter prayer, which holds the complication of the truth of life. Spirit of peace, do not bring me happiness. For happiness is fleet of foot and sure to depart. Bring me your joy, grown from the same root as suffering. Spirit of peace, be with all those who have known the pain of division. Give us faith to trust that the joy of forgiveness and reconciliation is possible. Spirit of peace, grant me rest and hope. May it be so for each of us. May life bring us joy amidst all that happens, grown from all that is, so that it may endure. And may we remember to share our stories with others, so that we may all continue to learn and to grow and to endure.